From the UW Fieldhouse in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the first round of the NCAA Volleyball Tournament here on the Big Ten Network. Coming up for you is the number 4 seeded Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Western Michigan Broncos. Ken Kozarowski here alongside Scott Memel. Glad to have you with us. Scott, the Badgers clinched the Big Ten last week following a 19-1 conference performance. And their 28-2 overall record has earned themselves their highest tournament seed in program history. And the awards keep going in the Big Ten. Wisconsin picked up 4 of their 5 year-end awards presented by the Big Ten. Lauren Carlini earned both the Big Ten Player of the Year and Setter of the Year awards. She's been incredible for them, the sophomore out of Aurora, Illinois. Junior libero Taylor Morey was named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. A rock as if I've ever seen one at the defensive specialist position. And then you got to give credit to the coach. Second year, Kelly Sheffield, 56-12 with the Badgers. And he wins the Big Ten Coach of the Year award. So just a lot of awards, well earned and well deserved by the Badgers.
Certainly, and what a spectacular season. After being swept by Penn State here at the Fieldhouse, things weren't looking good for the Badgers. Obviously a little demoralizing, losing in straight sets to a top team in Penn State, the team that beat them in the national championship a year ago. There were questions, where is this team going to go from here? Well, I'll answer you, Ken. Wisconsin has dropped only 5 sets the rest of the season. The Penn State game was at the end of September. We're now in December, so really an incredible season by the Badgers, following up their Final Four run last year, a national championship run, just finishing runner-up. And you know, you have to tip your hat to head coach Kelly Sheffield. Again, overall record in his 14th year as a coach, 329 wins at Wisconsin in just 2 seasons, has amassed 56 wins. Really incredible what he's been able to do here for the Badgers. An incredible coach. Led the Badgers to the Big Ten Championship and was also named the Coach of the Year, as you said. More honors to come for Kelly Sheffield, but first things first, got to take care of business in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. The Badgers have won a school record 19 consecutive matches, and I think they have a great chance to make it 20 tonight against a Western Michigan team that probably shouldn't be overlooked. They did win the MAC championship, but when you line these two teams up, Wisconsin is clearly superior.
You said it, the Western Michigan Broncos, 22-13 overall, 9-7 in the Mid-American Conference. They claimed the tournament title. That's how they got the automatic bid to play the Badgers here at the Fieldhouse. They're the first team in the new format of the tournament to win 4 matches in 4 days in order to advance. So they've got some momentum going forward. Look for them to try and stick around, especially early on here against a strong Badgers team.
Badgers have usually swept their matches this season. Only 9 of their 30 matches have gone for more than 3 sets. So it's going to be quite difficult for Western Michigan just to even take a set off these Badgers.
And generally a young team for Western Michigan as well. Not a lot of experience, so they're going to be relying on some freshmen, including Sydney LeMay, named to the All-MAC team this year. An impressive player. They'll need some of their young guns to improve.
And we get started here with Gosen with the serve. Carlini in play to Bates. Blocked well by the Broncos. Contact near the net. Badgers reset. Here it comes. Couple of good defensive sets. Western Michigan will try a dip. Saved very well by Carlini. Here comes Bates. Blocked at the line. And Carlini with a tip cross court near the corner. And the first point will go to the Wisconsin Badgers.
Well, that's what Lauren Carlini does for you. She had a dig, diving towards the middle of the court to make that play. She's second on the team in digs per set with 2.89. And then just a little quick kill right in the middle of the net. Makes it look easy for the Badgers.
She serves it in, a low shot. Here come the Broncos. Dug out well by the Badgers. Goes over the net. Here come the Broncos. A kill attempt goes long. Badgers up 2-0.
That's a missed opportunity for the Broncos. Had a free ball over by the Badgers. Taylor Morey, the libero, just sending it over. Trying to catch the Broncos out of system. Seemed to be in good shape offensively, but just a miss hit sends it long.
Carlini with a cross-court serve. Broncos, here they go. Sydney LeMay tried it. Little finesse shot, couldn't put enough on it, and the Badgers have a quick 3-0 lead.
Rare hitting error there for LeMay, sending that one into the net. She's hitting .329 on the season. That's good for best on the team.
Carlini with a very soft serve. Western Michigan almost couldn't handle it. Carlini with the set. Courtney Thomas, cross-court kill.
What makes the Badgers so difficult to play against is the depth they have at the net. So you talk about, Taylor Morey, solid at the libero position. That sets up her players at the net very well. Looking right now, you've got Courtney Thomas, Kelly Bates, the freshman, Haley Nelson all up front with Lauren Carlini setting.
That soft serve by Carlini has given them 2 very easy points. Badgers have 5 in a row.
41 service aces coming into the tournament for Carlini. That's best on the team by far. Just got another one right there.
She's finding the soft spot. Here it comes. Western Michigan tries across court, defended well by Bates. Some contact near the line. Badgers take it again.
That violation there by Western Michigan. Got their feet across the white line, also body extended over the net, interfering with the Badger player.
Carlini once again. Almost a miss hit by the Broncos. Here they come. Defended well. Thomas. Nice little set and a nice little dip.
Haley Nelson right there, a little finesse shot, saw an opening in the Broncos defense. It gives Badgers their 7th point. So far, so good for the number 4 seed.
Going to take a break. Wisconsin's taking their first 7. They're up in the first set, 7-0. Stick with us here on the Big Ten Network. And we're back to the UW Fieldhouse where the Badgers are currently leading Western Michigan 7-0 in the first set. Badgers have the serve, and here comes Carlini. And that'll be another very easy point for the Badgers. Couldn't handle the serve. Badgers up 8-0.
And that's a case where Carlini just varying her serves, doing that drop shot as you mentioned earlier, Ken, and then that time putting a little heat behind it. Maybe it was going out of bounds, but ultimately catching the Broncos at its system defensively, getting another service ace.
Here she comes once again. See if Western Michigan can do anything. Blocked, but it goes off on the deflection, and Western Michigan will finally get on the board.
Credit to Western Michigan, I think it's worth mentioning. They lead Division I, both in total assists this season with 1,742. They also lead Division I with 1,852 kills. Pretty spectacular what they can do offensively. We saw it right there.
They're no slouch. Here come the Badgers with a dip shot, received well. Carlini digs it out. And a nice little dip shot right there. Badgers will try it again. Nelson is blocked at the fence. Western Michigan will take their 2nd point.
A couple different players there getting involved. Pollock and LeMay, both right at the net. LeMay only a freshman, Pollock the senior, so combining there at the net to get a nice block.
Here comes Wisconsin. Carlini with the set, and Courtney Thomas with a strong kill.
Named Big Ten Player of the Week last week, and you see why. Generates so much power behind her swing. Isn't always the most accurate player on the Badgers, but when she gets that arm going back behind her, she'll be able to make the plays as you saw in the replay.
Kelly Bates serves it in. Pollock with the shot. Carlini with the backward set. Nice tip by Thomas, but the Broncos will try it. Blocked at the net. Chapman to Carlini. Here comes Chapman again. And Chapman, who just came into the match, paying up dividends.
Nice job there by Ellen Chapman, not only getting the dig, but ultimately setting up Carlini nicely to in turn set Ellen Chapman back up well. They work so well in system to the Badgers.
Cross-court serve goes over the net, and Chapman tries it, defended well. Comes Blodnick. Taylor Morey got it just fine. Chapman tries it again. Good dig by the libero. Block right there. Courtney Thomas to Ellen Chapman. An excellent dive right there by Rishatillo, but she gets one right at her face, can only deflect it out of bounds, and the Badgers go up 11-2.
The thing worth noting about the Wisconsin Badgers is they only lost one senior last year who started. It was Anne-Marie Hickey, their libero. And they've got Taylor Morey stepping in Defensive Player of the Year for the Badgers. They look seamless. They've been there before. They've been in the NCAA tournament and have come out strong to begin this match.
Western Michigan, nice little tip. Carlini with a good save. Kept alive by Rishatillo. Morey with the save. And Haley Nelson, an awkward-looking kill, but she gets it to work.
For Haley Nelson, leads the team in hitting percentage, hitting .387, and you're right, that time didn't look pretty, but got enough of the net that the ball just fell right over. Broncos couldn't take advantage.
It's been all Badgers thus far as Bates with a low serve. Onyx sets it up. Blocked at the line. Broncos try again. And not a great set right there by Western Michigan. And that'll be an easy point for the Badgers.
Yeah, Bosnick trying to do a little too much there, trying to get it back across the net. I'm not sure if she was just trying to get it over right away, a little finesse shot or not. But that time, just another hitting error for the Broncos. It's hurting them early.
Come the Broncos. Carlini takes a tough one. That'll deflect out of bounds. And a good possession there by Western Michigan. It's 13-3.
Just to illustrate the difference, right now the Badgers are hitting .350 as a team. Conversely, Western Michigan hitting negative .053. So far not going well, and a service error, not going to help you, as we just saw.
Yeah, Caroline Rose, the libero, sends it out far too long, handing the Badgers free points and digging themselves into an early hole. Here comes Haley Nelson with the serve. Pollock will set. Another good dig by Carlini. She's had a good set so far. Chapman is blocked. Badgers reset. Chapman again. Nice little touch. And that'll go out of play. Badgers got it.
Right now what the Badgers are doing, they're mixing up what they're doing offensively. What they'll do is they'll try a cross-court kill, as we've seen a couple times, a couple finesse shots at the net. They'll try and send the defense deeper off the shelf, so to speak, towards the back of the court. It's all working well. It's keeping the Broncos out of system defensively.
Tip at the net. Deflects out of bounds, and Western Michigan with a very quick point. Pollock to serve for Western Michigan.
I believe that was Gosen on the far side, getting a little heat behind that one. Badgers couldn't handle it defensively. Nice point for the Broncos.
Carlini to Chapman. That will fall right on the line. Good cross-court kill.
And that's what Chapman likes to do. She'll mix it up in terms of where she's going to send the ball on a kill. I know very well, last year for the Big Ten Network, we used to sit on the court. It was that exact shot that used to beat us right in the face. So Chapman puts a lot of heat on that one. Very well done for the Badgers.
Kofi tried a quick little shot. Badgers defended well. And they get yet another point.
I mean, just going through all the statistics, it's not as big a discrepancy as I would have thought, but 14 digs by the Badgers to 10 by the Broncos. Ultimately 10 kills for the Badgers, only 3 for Western Michigan.
Wozniak served it in. Dominique Tompkins, who entered recently, again. Badger substitutions paying off.
Oh, and it's hard to find a weakness. I mean, Dominique Thompson, as you said, just came in, the middle blocker. She's a redshirt senior coming in and making a play at the net. She was one of the spark plugs last year in the Final Four run for the Badgers.
Western Michigan just has to get it over. Morey with the pass to Carlini. Kelly Bates. Blocked well by Western Michigan. Bates will try again. Western Michigan holding firm. And that'll be a point to Western Michigan. Gosen, who's made a couple of mistakes in this set, gets a point for herself.
Nice dig there on a couple of occasions for the Broncos. That's what set up that possibility. Was Caroline Rose, the libero, was in good position. They were in system defensively. Were able to get a couple good digs leading to their point.
Olivia Kofi's serve hit the net. Awkward play right there for the Badgers. And it'll be Western Michigan's point.
16 aces, now 17 for Kofi on the season. Just a nice serve there. You don't always practice it that way, but hitting the net and going over, completely legal in women's volleyball.
On the Badgers, it's Courtney Thomas with a strong kill attempt.
Oh, good gracious.
I mean, what can you say? That is incredible.
I mean, you hear the crowd ooh when she does so. She'll attack from either the back or she'll sometimes play at the net. You have to leave your feet before you reach the white line next to the motion W. Was able to do so and still generate a lot of power for the Badgers.
Taylor Morey serves it in long, and that'll be a point for the Broncos.
Go back to last year for the Badgers, going off that point of a service error. A lot of people watching the Penn State match in the national championship thought the serving lost it ultimately for the Badgers. And now we have, conversely, the Broncos with a service error of their own. For Wisconsin under Kelly Sheffield in these 2 years, it's all about aggressive serving. You're going to win a lot of points by your serving. You might lose some as well because of errors, as we saw in the previous possession, but it's still going to win you a lot of points, and that's part of Sheffield's game plan going forward.
Western Michigan keeping it alive. Carlini with the save. Kelly Bates will try and kill, and she'll get it. Good attempt there by Bosnick to try and save it for the Broncos, but no avail.
Really the only new player this year for the Badgers who's played a majority of time is Kelly Bates, only a freshman, but coming into that role on the far side of the court, leading the team in kills with Ellen Chapman. And she makes it look easy sometimes. She's only a freshman, folks.
A tag team block right there by Bates and Haley Nelson got them fired up, and rightly so. It's 21-8 Wisconsin.
Haley Nelson led the Badgers last year in blocks per set, doing the same this year for Wisconsin as well.
Pollock will set it up, and the kill attempt goes long. It's Claire Gerwig, who's had a couple of kill attempts, hasn't made anything of them, so timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. Stick with us here on the Big Ten Network. Back here at the Fieldhouse, the first set of this matchup between the Badgers and the Broncos. It's been all Badgers. It's 22-8 with the Badgers ready to serve. Carlini. Pollock by the Broncos setting up her teammate LeMay, and LeMay will get one. 22-9.
Nice play by LeMay, second on the team, 2.57 kills per set. As I mentioned earlier, leads the team in hit percentage at .329, and they need her because right now the hit percentage just .036 for Western Michigan. They need their freshman to step up big time.
Carlini with the set, another hard kill attempt by Thomas. Goes out of bounds on the deflection, nearly goes the full length of the field.
It's tough, and as I mentioned earlier, the Badgers just have so many players that are able to attack at the net. And whether it's Ellen Chapman, Haley Nelson, Courtney Thomas, Dominique Thompson, just to name a few, really an impressive group. And Kelly Bates, who just made the serve as well.
Pollock will set. Excellent dig by the freshman Bates. Here come the Badgers. It's Chapman cross-court kill. It's been her bread and butter this set. And it sets up a set point in the first set, 24-9. It's been all Badgers.
The Badgers lead the kills category 15-6. That pretty much tells you your entire story.
Bates with a low serve, saved by Bosnick. And the hit will go wide. Badgers take the first set 25-9. Made it look easy, Scott.
They really did. I mean, they hit the ball well, hitting .467. I don't care who you're playing. You're going to beat a lot of teams hitting .467, add 15 kills, 14 assists as well. Really dominant in all those categories are the Badgers. That's why they got such a commanding lead here in the first set.
So they lead the match 1-0. We're going to come back in just a few. Stick with us. It's volleyball here on the Big Ten Network. Set to begin in the UW Fieldhouse. Scott, we're looking at the first set stats. Tell us the story.
Well, it's a little lopsided. That's the story. I mean, for the Badgers, 15 kills, only 6 for Western Michigan. Western Michigan conversely committing 6 errors, only 1 committed by the Badgers. And then the other two stats that really stick out in terms of hit percentage, Badgers hitting .467. Officially, Western Michigan, all zeros as a hit percentage. So if you're Western Michigan, you know, obviously tough to come into the Fieldhouse in what's technically a neutral site game. Not really. There's a lot of Badger fans here, as you'd expect. Tough first set, but you know, there's a point where you can bounce back. It's important for Western Michigan. You just got to settle things down, stay in system if at all possible defensively, and set up LeMay and your other sharpshooters at the net to try and get some points against this Badgers team.
And for the Badgers, I assume you just keep doing what you're doing.
It worked out pretty well in the first set. It worked out pretty well, and it's what they've been doing all year. Just the depth that this team has, doing all kinds of different things. They're so strong digging the ball that it sets up Carlini nicely at the set.
Good dig right there, just off the serve. Out of play right there. Badgers will take the first point of the second set.
And that was a case where Western Michigan couldn't handle the serve. It went to the far side. The ball hitting the antenna immediately out of bounds.
Taylor Morey will set it in. Soft. Broncos try it. Defended well. Here comes Haley Nelson. Good dig right there by Rose. Soft kill attempt right there. Carlini kept it in the air. Maybe a miscommunication between the Badger defense. And things are even at 1 here in the second set.
We've mentioned Lauren Carlini several times. It's worth mentioning, you know, obviously very impressive. Big Ten Player of the Year, Setter of the Year, but what really impresses Coach Sheffield and everyone watching her play, the former Gatorade number one recruit, is that she watches a lot of film. She watches more film than anyone else. She'll come out the first one out of practice, and she'll work with her teammates about setting, about how to set them up properly. It makes her just an even better player. Obviously, all the hype in the world. Even with a coaching change, she still came to Wisconsin. Really an impressive story, and she just keeps working to get better and better, and that's what impresses her coach most.
Kofi with the kill. It's dug out by Carlini. Thomas with the pass to Bates, who tries cross-court, but it falls just a little long, and it was deflected.
They ultimately give it to Wisconsin. I didn't necessarily see the tip, but they say it was tipped right at the net, ultimately going out of bounds then off the block. Point for Wisconsin.
3-1, Carlini serves it in. Pollock will pass to Kofi, blocked, but it goes out of bounds, and Western Michigan will take one.
Nice job by Kofi. Third on the team, hitting .213 on the year. Also 2.1 kills per set. Another strong offensive player. Need her to be a presence at the net.
Carlini with the set. Badgers couldn't do anything. Here come the Broncos. Dug out well by the sophomore Carlini. Pollock will set. Riscitillo tries. Nothing doing right there. Contact at the net. Kofi will tie things up here in the second set for Western Michigan.
Not a great dig there by the Badgers, and Kofi able to take advantage right at the net, making a nice play. Also second on the team, 0.67 blocks per set. It wasn't a block right there, ultimately goes as a kill, but a good presence right in the middle for the middle blocker.
Carlini to Bates right there. Not much you can do.
And Kelly Bates, another good story, as we've mentioned, a freshman coming in, really filling in for Demi Morales, who's just going to the bench right now. A 5'7" player is Morales. Has a 32-inch vertical, a huge presence last year for the Badgers team, but this year with the introduction of Kelly Bates, it's been less with Demi Morales, but the reason being the depth, and you saw it right there, this time Haley Nelson making the play.
Riscitillo couldn't handle the serve, falls right into Nelson's lap, and she took advantage. Bates with the serve. Riscitillo does better this time. And Western Michigan will get one off the deflection. It's 5-4 Wisconsin.
That time just finding the gap in the Badgers defense. Credit to the Broncos right there. I believe they're going to give that one to Bosnick with the kill. Which is a nice job. His 2.89 kills per set leads the team.
Bosnick will now serve it in. Dug out by Bates. Carlini the set to Thomas. Powerful kill goes back Wisconsin's way. Thomas again. She gets it this time. How can you even begin to defend that kind of power?
I mean, just to add to her story, she used to be the setter. Then Lauren Carlini comes in, as we mentioned, #1 recruit in the nation. Courtney Thomas says that's okay. Moves to a different position. She has just increased her power with each given year. Credit to the Broncos right here with a nice play, though.
Yeah, Kofi with the kill. Carlini tried to dig it out. Looked like it might have gone out of bounds had Carlini let it go. But nonetheless, it's a point to the Broncos.
And credit to Western Michigan, sticking around, down only 1.
Morey passes it close, and Chapman will just hit it over. Here come the Broncos. Kill attempt goes long. They've had several of those long kill attempts, and it's been hurting them. Badgers lead 7-5 here in the second.
I like the aggressiveness, though. The back set to the far side, trying to really generate some power behind it, was Gerwig just couldn't find the court.
Rose to Pollock. And Bates really does the splits trying to dig that one out. But Western Michigan will get it. I believe that was Sydney LeMay on that kill.
Yeah, LeMay, again, just a freshman, but a nice impact there, generating a lot of power and finding a little hole in the Badgers' defense.
Carlini to Chapman. That'll fall the Badgers' way.
Well, that's an instance of Ellen Chapman showing what she does. I mean, we talked about her cross court. She'll send it along the far line as well. That time, just a little dump over the net, able to get the point.
Her arsenal has been on display thus far. Badgers lead 8-6. Chapman will serve it in. Near the top of the net and falls backwards. Service air, and it'll go to Western Michigan.
That's a case there for Ellen Chapman. The ball was coming down just a little late, swinging her arm and getting the ball going forward. Had too low a trajectory and obviously hitting the net. And that's what's aggressive serving is going to do for you. The more aggressive you are, the better chance there is to have an error. The Badgers live and die by that. That's part of their system.
Riscitillo serves it in. Carlini keeps it in play. Here come the Broncos. Pollock to Bosnick. Good attempt by the Badgers right there. But Western Michigan will tie things up here in the second set. It's 8-all.
Nice job by Bosnick there, going up against the Badger block. Lauren Carlini a little late getting back after getting the save.
Carlini with the set. Here comes Bates. Kept alive by Morey. Bates will try again. Excellent block at the net. It's Lexi Pollock by Western Michigan, and they have their first lead.
Pollock, the setter, saying, hey, I can get a block too defensively. Nice job by her rising up at the net. Leads the team obviously with 11.08 sets per set, but also a big contributor at the net.
And Pollock, 2 points in a row right there. 10-8 Western Michigan.
And here's the fundamental difference. Right now, Western Michigan's hitting 385. Now it's just updated. They're hitting 429 on the side after hitting all zeros in the first set.
It's been quite the adjustment. Carlini with the set to Bates. Finds the soft spot right in the middle of Western Michigan's defense.
I have to give a lot of credit. Head coach Colleen Munson, now in her 10th year with Western Michigan, has led the team to 6 straight wins at the end of the year and got the MAC tournament title. Also named MAC Coach of the Year, so a very impressive person and keeping her team calm. They're staying in the second set.
Carlini to Thomas. just wide of the line. An interesting idea right there by Thomas, known for her power, but varies her shot well. And it's 11-9 Broncos. Caroline Rose with the serve in. Carlini with a backwards tip. And she's fired up, and rightly so. Excellent play. Good recognition of what Western Michigan was showing.
That's more or less, if you're playing basketball, that's a reverse layup. That's what we just saw right there by Carlini catching the Broncos out of system and just weren't expecting that one. They thought that she was going to have a back set.
Pollock to Kofi, dug out by Carlini. She's pumped up. Here comes Bates, just long, shooting for the corner. And Western Michigan is up 2.
So a little bit of a difference now. 4 errors on the Badgers, 3 in this set alone. Just updating here is the stat sheet. Right now, Western Michigan out hitting the Badgers 375 to 278.
Carlini to Thomas, blocked at the net by Kofi.
That's a big-time block by the 6'1" middle blocker. Again, only a freshman is Kofi, but leads, second on the team with .67 blocks per set.
Excellent non-take by Demi Morales right there. Recognizing the serve was going long, and Wisconsin makes it a 2-point set once again.
That's a mistake by Pollock there. You have a lot of momentum if you're the Broncos. Tough serve there, couldn't find the court. Really cost them the momentum, and we'll see if the Badgers can take advantage.
Pollock will try for Bosnick, and Bosnick finds the soft spot right there. 14-11 here in the second set. The Broncos have another substitution. Rishatilla will come out, and it looks like Claire Gerwig will check back in. Bosnick to serve. And it'll go long, shooting for that far side corner, giving Wisconsin a free point.
Now 9 errors committed here on the evening by the Broncos. And, after the first set, it looks like, wow, the Broncos are no match. And you're going, well, do they really have an offense? They sure do. This isn't a slouch of a team by any means. Again, the MAC tournament champions, 13.4 kills per set, add 12.6 assists per set, both among the leaders in the MAC conference. They have a high-power offense. They can make a lot of plays. It's on display here in the second set.
Carlini will try for Chapman, and she drops it in right there. Very nice point by Chapman.
That time losing the Broncos' own medicine a little bit there. More of a finesse shot, just finding the hole right in the middle of the court. Nice play by Ellen Chapman, the senior.
Served in by the Badgers. Lexi Pollock tries for Gosen, and that will deflect in play. And Western Michigan will get their 15th point of the second set. Haley Nelson checks in for the Badgers, and now we have a timeout on the floor. Second set, Western Michigan leads 15-13, but the Badgers still have that first set. We'll take a break. Stick with us here on the Big Ten Network. Back at the Fieldhouse, Western Michigan leads the second set 15-13. And Scott, you pointed out a weakness for the Badgers currently. They're blocking.
Yeah, it's been an issue largely early on this season, more in the non-conference. Got better in that respect in Big Ten play, but ultimately still middle of the pack Big Ten when it comes to blocking. Right now being outblocked 3-1 by the Broncos.
Olivia Kofi serves it in. Carlini to Chapman. Dug out by Kofi. Pollock will pass. Little dip attempt, but the Badgers take control. And there's Chapman once again, right on the line. They make it a 1-point game.
We'll see what adjustments head coach Kelly Sheffield made coming out of the timeout. That's a nice play there by Chapman, finding the opening on the near side line and making the play.
Courtney Thomas sends it in. Gosen will try. And how about that? A block by the Badgers, kept alive by Western Michigan. Chapman will try. Pollock the set. Dug out very well by Thomas, but it goes out of play.
And Western Michigan, how about that? Keep playing. It was a beautiful block by Dominique Thompson. I was about to say I stand corrected, but Western Michigan staying with the ball, keeping their eye on it, ultimately getting the point. A lot of credit to the Broncos. Looking good here in the second set.
Ellie Gosen serves it in. Chapman will try. Goes right at the libero Rose. And it'll deflect off Courtney Thomas. Be another point for Western Michigan. They're up 17-14.
That was a big momentum shift right there. The Badgers and the entire crowd thought they had the point, but it's the Broncos that ultimately got it. Now adding one more.
Broncos up 3 here in the second set. We'll take another short break. This is women's volleyball on the Big Ten Network. Back at the Fieldhouse, Western Michigan leads 17-14 as things continue. Badgers will try offensively. Chapman once again. Bosnick digs it out. Western Michigan blocked by the Badgers. Here comes Dominique Tompkins. It'll ricochet out of play, and the Badgers open this break from the media timeout with a point.
Nice job by Dominique Thompson there. Moving to her right, still getting a good amount of force on the ball. Reading the blockers well. Able to hit it off their hands and out of bounds. Dominique Thompson, the senior, can read the defense well. Make the play that corresponds well.
Quick shot right there by Lexi Pollock. And a nice quick point for the Broncos.
It's a nice look by Pollock there on the near side. Looked like she was going to try and sit it back across the net. Fooled the Badgers defense and found an open spot on the near side. Really no Badgers home.
Wisconsin crowd trying to get into things as Rishatillo will serve it in for the Broncos. Bates to Carlini. Here comes Tompkins. And that'll touch the ground. Badgers with a point.
Dominique Thompson there. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast a spark plug last year in the Final Four for the Badgers against Texas, playing the #1 seed. When they really needed her, she was right in the middle of the net making plays. Now on the far side, a couple straight kills.
And how about a block right there by Lauren Carlini? Badgers with the point.
And you get the sense that the Badgers starting to pick up that momentum again. Carlini that time, like you said, with the block, only the second by the Badgers here this evening. And now they get the serve once again.
Badgers looking to tie things up. Nelson keeps it alive. Morey will send it over. Rishatillo to Pollock. And LeMay will get it. Courtney Thomas tried to dig it out, could not. And Broncos back to a 2-point lead.
I love the reaction there by Kelly Sheffield. The kill goes right at him. He spikes the ball away. Staring at his team, was not happy with the Badgers defense there, largely out of system. Taylor Morey was forced to send a 3-ball over on that possession as well.
Carlini to Nelson. Off the deflection, Western Michigan keeps it alive. Thomas with the dig. Tipped over, Pollock keeps it alive for the Broncos. Rose to Bosnick. And it goes wide. And apparently,
they're ultimately
disagreement.
The up ref ultimately said, "This is my decision." That's a Wisconsin point. It was initially called a deflection. That's where the confusion was. Ultimately, the up ref said, "Nope, Badgers didn't touch it." Wisconsin point.
Makes it 19-18. And a good kill right there by Western Michigan. Not much the Badger defense could do. Once again, 2-point game.
We've talked about the offensive prowess of Western Michigan, leading the nation in assists and kills this year. Badgers 7th nationally in hitting percentage, 6th nationally in kills per set, also 4th nationally in assist per set. Very impressive offensively as well.
Carlini to Nelson, it was blocked, but it goes out of play. Badgers with a much-needed point, keeping this deficit very close.
That's a good key that you just brought up there, Ken. The Badgers not letting this one get out of hand. They've been down by 2-3 points at the most, but then come back and get a couple points of their own, stemming the tide.
Bosnick to Pollock. Here comes Kofi. Much too strong. That'll tie things up at 20, and the crowd starts to get into it.
And that's dangerous if you're the Broncos. I like this timeout here. You don't want this crowd here at the Fieldhouse to get involved.
We're going to take another short break. All things tied at 20 here in the second set. We'll be back in just a few. Stick with us on the Big Ten Network. The Fieldhouse in the second set, all things square at 20. Much better competition here in the second set. And Scott, it shows with the hit percentage.
It does. So you go back to the first set, which I'll say it was a dominating performance by the Badgers. They dominated the hit percentage, 467 to all zeros by the Broncos. Now conversely, it's just about even, as is our score at 2020. Badgers hitting 300, 323 for Western Michigan.
Pollock set up Kofi, dug out well by Carlini. Ellen Chapman goes right at Caroline Rose, who saves it. Carlini with another good dig. Chapman will try once again and gets it. 21-20 Wisconsin.
On that sequence alone, you saw a kill attempt by Haley Nelson. Courtney Thomas had a set. She's one of the attackers, and then ultimately Ellen Chapman getting the kill. Again, so much depth at the net. They can utilize those different players in different positions.
Pollock sets up. Kofi blocked. And another Badger point.
I mean, this is what the Badgers will do. They lead the Big Ten, 16.25 digs per set. It sets up their offense. They can take advantage again, 7th nationally in hitting percentage, 6th nationally in assists.
Kofi trying once again, dug out by Bates. Morey with the pass. Bates will just send it Western Michigan's way. Rose with the pass. And off the ricochet, that'll fall Western Michigan's way. 22-21 here in the second set.
I believe that was Gosen ultimately getting the point there. Just a nice job reading the defensive, reading the blockers of the Badgers, and making a kill in order to correspond with what she saw.
Bosnick serves it in. Carlini to Haley Nelson. That will fall. Looked very close to that line, but ultimately it falls the Badgers' way, 23-21.
If it hits the line, it's in. So, gives you a little extra space, but that time Haley Nelson doing a nice job fooling the defense and coming to the near side line, and able to get it for the point.
Nelson will serve it into the middle. Pollock. And a Badger block. It looks like an infraction. It'll go Western Michigan's way.
Yeah, they're ultimately going to call a net violation. The crowd didn't like it. They wanted set point, but the Badgers right up at the net interfering with the opposing player.
Western Michigan stays alive, down just one. Olivia Kofi will serve it in. Received by Bates. Carlini to Chapman, blocked well by Western Michigan, and the Badgers can't keep it alive. And just like that, all things are tied at 23.
And that's where a mistake like a net violation can loom large. The Badgers had set point. Now it's even at 23. It's those little mistakes that can make a big difference.
So another timeout. We're going to stay here. All things square at 23 all. Now, if you're Western Michigan, this is a set you really got to have. After an abysmal first set, Western Michigan really made a couple of really nice adjustments and are now giving Wisconsin a really good contest. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually relieved that the Badgers aren't running away with this one.
Oh, absolutely. I love watching women's volleyball. If no one's seen it before, if you're new to the sport, it is so much fun to watch. If you have a local team nearby, wherever you're watching, go give them a watch. Go give them some spectators. It is really a fast-paced, fun sport to watch, and that's why it's great having the back and forth between these teams. One thing I want to bring up, assists were very wide apart. After the first set, Lauren Carlini really dominating. It's become a lot closer. Badgers still lead the category 28-22. But Western Michigan just more in system, getting those assists after some strong digs this set, and it's setting up their offense a lot nicer than they did in the first set. They were largely out of system. They seem to be a little out of system, to say the very least, against the Badgers' first set, but now with some more assists, getting stronger digs, it's keeping them in system offensively, and they're being able to do different things than we saw in the first set.
Set to go yet again. Kofi serves it in. Carlini. Courtney Thomas. Boy, has she been big for the Badgers. Clutch point, and it sets up a set point for the Badgers.
7 kills already by Courtney Thomas. I would say a quiet 7 kills in the fact that they've been very spread out, but the power behind them is not very quiet at all. Big chance here for the Badgers to go up 2-0.
Thomas serves it in. Rishatillo. Here comes Gosen. Dug out by Thomas. Quick little slap by Carlini. And Western Michigan will get a point. That was a very good play. It looked like Sydney LeMay. One-handed touch shot. Ties it up. Western Michigan stays alive.
She saw what Lauren Carlini did and said, it didn't work for you, but hey, I'll do the same thing, and was able to get a point.
Carlini to Chapman. Nice little touch shot. Western Michigan receives it well. Rishatillo. No dice. Carlini will try for Thompson. And off the ricochet, it'll be Badger points. Sets up yet another set point.
Yeah, third set point, excuse me. You do have to win by 2. So if you're following along with us at home, they do have 25 points, but you have to win by 2 in college women's volleyball.
Wisconsin crowd on its feet as Ellen Chapman serves it in. Rose to Pollock, and LeMay will try. Well done by Rishatillo to keep it alive. And good non-play by Chapman lets it go long, and the Badgers take the first 2 sets with a chance to sweep coming up.
Give a lot of credit to Western Michigan staying in this set. Much better hitting percentage at .262, but it dropped. It was much higher, around 300. A couple missed opportunities down the stretch gave the Badgers that set.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back for the third set. We'll see if the Badgers can sweep things in the first round of the tournament. Stick with us here on the Big Ten Network. Back at the UW Fieldhouse for the third set of this match between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Western Michigan Broncos. While the Badgers have taken both sets, when you take a look at the stats, Scott, things are closer than they seem.
Well, certainly. The big difference between the first and the second sets for the Broncos. Western Michigan was down 15 kills to 6 after the first set, and then came back and actually led kills in the second set, 18 to 17, so closing that gap a little bit. The hitting percentage went from all zeros to .262. So an improvement there, but credit to the Badgers, utilizing their depth to still pick up that set win. Ultimately, you look down the line for the Badgers, so many players getting involved in terms of kills. 3 for Carlini, 7 for Courtney Thomas, 4 Kelly Bates, 6 Haley Nelson, 4 Demini Thompson, 8 for Ellen Chapman leading all players.
Things are just about to get set here in the field house. Rishatillo will open things up. Carlini to Courtney Thomas, just long. And that's how the third set will begin. Western Michigan up.
Courtney Thomas putting a lot of heat behind her kills, and that's going to be the reality. Sometimes just going to go a little bit long, an aggressive player at the net.
Carlini, this time to Haley Nelson. Rishatillo will dig it out. Comes Bosnick, blocked at the net by the Badgers. Well done. Pollock tried a little cute shot. Carlini was having none of it. Western Michigan will try yet again. Sydney LeMay. Taylor Morey's right there for the dig. Great point so far for Western Michigan. Can't keep it in the air, and the Badgers even it up.
Hard kill right at the net there by the Badgers. Hard to corral. Haley Nelson going to be credited with it. Just a nice little move there. Saw an opportunity. A little quick kill right at the center of the net.
Carlini will serve it in. Pollock to Hubbard Neal. Badgers control it. Caroline Rose with the dig. Western Michigan will just have to get this one over, and they do. Haley Nelson the pass to Carlini, who sets for Courtney Thomas. Ricochets off Rishatillo, and the Badgers take a 2-1 lead.
That was all made possible by a back row attack by Demi Morales, who, as we've talked about, overshadowed a little bit this year by the freshman Kelly Bates. Demi Morales is 5'7". She has a 32-inch vertical. Truly an athlete, putting it on display there, ultimately setting up Courtney Thomas to later finish off, and the Badgers just keep adding points.
Yeah, Sydney LeMay tried to kill the Badgers with a good block at the net, something that they needed to improve on, as you said earlier in the broadcast. 3-1 here, Badgers. My bad.
Excuse me. Western Michigan now 4 team blocks, 3 for the Badgers, so narrowing that margin slightly as well.
Sydney LeMay tries again. Demi Morales with an excellent dig. Bates will try. Hubbard Neal gets it. Pollock will set for Bosnick. Excellent dig by Lauren Carlini. Morey sets it over, and the Broncos will try something. Quick shot defended well. Bates with a hard kill. Goes over the net. Haley Nelson tried a quick shot defended very well by Western Michigan. But ultimately the Badger attack proves too much, and Courtney Thomas gets another kill.
Thomas now leads all players, 9 kills on the evening, now hitting .316 as well, adding 4 assists. Really doing it all right now for the Badgers.
Rishatillo. Pollock comes and gets it. Hubbard Neal tries the soft touch. Badgers defend well. Bates off the ricochet. Hubbard Neal keeps it up. And Rishatillo gets it over. Dug out well by the libero Morey. Bates. Nuh-uh, here come Western Michigan. And another block between Kelly Bates and Haley Nelson are just stymieing Western Michigan on the right side.
And now we're evened up at blocks for both teams at 4. And like we talked about, that was an area of weakness for the Badgers early on this season. They've really found their way and are putting on a good show here in the third set in terms of team blocks.
Badgers going on a run here. LeMay will try things. Doesn't get enough to put it over the net. And the Badgers are suddenly up 6-1 here in the third set.
And you might be saying, this is the number 4 seed in the country. They're up 2-0. What's the big deal about the third set? Well, Ken, before our broadcast, we were listening to Cole Altman and Elise Romes on the call. Marquette was up 2-0 over Illinois State and then fell. Lost the last 3 sets. Illinois State walking away with it. If you're the Badgers, you don't want anything like that to happen. Obviously, every set very important in the NCAA tournament.
Of course. For Western Michigan, a couple of points in a row as we talk about the Badgers not blowing a lead.
Credit to the Broncos, too. I mean, obviously, they want to keep their season alive, so a lot of young players still getting a feel for the Fieldhouse court. But they looked better in the second set. Look for them to keep improving here and building their confidence going forward.
Off the deflection, Haley Nelson will get a kill for the Badgers as Demi Morales will check out, and Ellen Chapman will come in for Wisconsin.
We've been following hit percentage as it's gone along. The Badgers hitting .231 this set, negative .231. Right now for the Broncos, that's the difference.
Bosnick is dug out by Morey. Chapman getting in on the action. Western Michigan. Excellent little dip. Badgers defend well. Good play at the net. Here come the Badgers. Off the ricochet. The libero Rose keeps it alive. And now Wisconsin will try. Carlini to Nelson. Shot goes wide. But off the deflection, Badgers will get it.
So that was a case where Haley Nelson got bailed out a little bit there. We saw it in the second set, did a very similar move where she's in the middle of the net, but sends it to either one of the sides on a sharp angle. Did the same thing right there and was fortunate that a Bronco touched it. Otherwise, it would have been out of play.
Badgers up 8-3 in the third set. Bosnick. Dug out by Morey. Here comes Thomas. Strong kill attempt, but just long. And Western Michigan will get a point.
Another mistake there by the Badgers, a hitting error, but ultimately when you've got the Big Ten Setter of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year, you know things went pretty well. It's a team with a lot of experience that's been on display, winning two very different sets thus far, trying to pull away in this third one.
Bosnick dug out well by Carlini. And then Haley Nelson will finish it off. Excellent kill. Timed her jump perfectly, and it's 9-4 Wisconsin.
Important to note, defensively for Western Michigan, they're also a strong team. This is very balanced attack by the Broncos. This season had 15.5 digs per set. Towards the top of their conference, Badgers with over 16 led the Big Ten. But it's a team in the Broncos that need to get the digs to set up their offense. Right now, not really happening in the third set, and the Badgers, as we just saw there, taking advantage.
Yeah, Olivia Kofi not getting enough to get past the Badger defense. And the Badgers reach double digits in the third set, up 10-4. The deflection off the serve goes right to the Badgers. Easy little dip, and the Badgers take an easy point.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's easy to clean up if you're the team serving. Western Michigan, they were driven back, so out of system, and then the best they could do is just get it over the net.
Soft little serve. Near the net is Pollock. Excellent dig by Carlini. She's had quite a match. Rishatillo to Pollock. And good defense at the line by the Badgers. Bates keeps it in the air. Carlini to Chapman. Rishatillo digs it out. Allie Gosen can't get it. More good defense at the net by the Badgers. And we have a timeout on the floor. Badgers up 12-4. And they have this match in hand. We're going to take a short break. We'll see if Badgers can finish it out. This is the Big Ten Network. Back at the UW Fieldhouse, Badgers in control of their first round tournament matchup against the Broncos. Up 2-0 and up 12-4 in the third set as we get things going once again. Lexi Pollock will set up Gosen. Tries a cute shot, and Carlini somehow manages to keep it alive. I don't know how. And she'll do it again. Badgers on the attack. Nothing comes from it. But ultimately, it's Western Michigan who comes out with the point despite a great effort by Carlini.
I mean, credit to Western Michigan. They were finding the holes in the Badgers' defense. I mean, Carlini twice sprawling out, making the play. As the student section singing Build Me Up Buttercup right now, a little distracted, Ken. But ultimately, Western Michigan, nice job finding the holes in the defense and ultimately getting the point. Now, follow up with a nice play here.
Off the serve, it's a miss hit by the freshman Bates. And Western Michigan has 2 points after coming back from the timeout. Taylor Morey will set things up. Carlini to Chapman. Blocked well by Western Michigan. And they'll try things offensively. Kill attempt goes wide and long. And the Badgers will control the serve.
I like that play by Lauren Carlini. The Badgers were out of system, scrambling a little bit, so rather than try and set up a play or set it to the far side, Carlini just pushed it over the net, a free ball over, but it allowed the Badgers to get back into system and collect themselves.
And a miscommunication, to say the least, right there on Western Michigan's front line. Badgers get a point. It's 14-6.
That's uncharacteristic for them. If nothing else, they've played a match where they always seem to be in good communication. That's just a silly mistake there by the Broncos.
Pollock to Gerwig. It's dug out by Morey. Chapman tries. And this time Rose digs it out. Off the deflection. Good effort by Courtney Thomas. But nothing doing. And Western Michigan grabs a point.
Nice job there by Western Michigan. And again, a solid team. Again, lead Division I with an assist and total kills. They've kind of run into a buzzsaw. I'll finish that point after this play.
Dominique Thompson tried to get cute. Western Michigan defended well. Chapman tries the very same thing, and this time gets it to fall.
So finishing up that point, they've kind of run into a buzzsaw. Have the Broncos. UW has won a school record 19 consecutive matches. That breaks the old mark of 18 straight that they set in '97 when they won the Big Ten. Also, the Badgers strong at home. They're 12-1 this season here in the Fieldhouse. Even though it's a neutral site game, still has that home atmosphere.
Carlini to Thompson. That'll touch the ground. Badgers with another point.
And also Wisconsin third nationally with 4,888 fans per match. Good also for second in the Big Ten, only behind Nebraska. So, drawing the Fieldhouse, that's what happens when you're the 4 seed in the tournament. Obviously a huge advantage for the Badgers. Tough for Western Michigan, still trying to stay alive and claw back into this one.
Pollock with the pass to Rishatillo. Carlini finds Bates. Strong kill. Unbelievable power by this Badger offense, and it comes from multiple places. Badgers up 17-7.
It really does. Haley Nelson leads all scorers with 10 kills, but then you have 9 for Courtney Thomas and 9 for Ellen Chapman, and the list goes on from there.
Dug out by Thomas. Thompson tries. Dug out by Western Michigan. Here comes Rishatillo. Blocked at the net by Thompson and Carlini. And they are feeling it now.
Right, and they're doing everything. They're getting the digs, as we saw a couple possessions ago. That time, getting a block at the net. They've got several different players contributing in terms of kills. Right now, it's a complete team effort by the Badgers, really pouring it on in the third set. And now it's a service ace. Just adding to the list of things that are going right for the Wisconsin Badgers right now.
If you're a Badger fan, you got to be happy right now. 19-7 and counting. Chapman will serve it in. Bosnick to Pollock, and Bosnick gets it back. Near the net.
You had Kelly Bates down on the play. Initially looked like she was injured. She's gotten up and she's walked it off, but the play blown dead as she was laying on the far side on the N on the W. Looks like she's okay. Kelly Sheffield monitoring the situation. Kelly Bates. Believable. Yeah, she's going to stay in on the play, so everything seems fine, but a little scary moment there. Very quiet right now in the Fieldhouse.
Bates gets a round of applause. And Carlini, all smiles right next to Bates.
It's good to see her smiling, just kind of laughing it off with her teammates. We've got a sophomore and 2 seniors giggling along with her. Now we're ready to go once again.
Here comes Chapman. Serves it in. Rose with the set. Rishatillo. Dug out by Bates. She seems just fine.
Oh, yeah. Right now it's clicking on all cylinders. I believe that was Carlini just hitting a free ball over, but it goes for a point in the far side corner. The Badgers clicking on all cylinders, looking like the 4 seed.
Badgers 5 points away from sweeping this one. We'll see what they do after this break. Stay with us here on the Big Ten Network. Back at the Fieldhouse, Badgers up 20-7 in the third set, 5 points away from a sweep. And Scott, just how about the performance? Not, of course, in general, the entire team, but Big Ten Player of the Year, Lauren Carlini, she's had quite a day.
Oh, absolutely. Really doing it all. Got a kill on the last play, several sets as well. Obviously leading the Badgers in the Big Ten in that category. Really a player that does it all. The best part of that story is she's the #1 recruit in high school. Pete Waite, though, the head coach for the Badgers, leaves. And in comes Kelly Sheffield, so a ton of question marks. What's going to happen? Lauren Carlini says, no, I made my decision. I'm going to stay with Wisconsin. I want to lead them to a national championship. She came darn close last year, runner-up finish. You said it, strong match today by Carlini, just looking at it. 31 assists, 20 digs, and 4 kills.
She's done it all. Badgers keeping the ball alive. Bates sends it over. It's 20-8. Sydney LeMay with a strong kill. Dug out by Thomas. Pollock will set to the teammate Rishatillo. Blocked yet again. Thomas is there for the soft dip. Dominic Thompson will get a point for the Badgers. 21-8.
If you'll bear with me for a moment, Ken, let me just run through this and show you how much depth this Badger team has in terms of attacking at the net. Carlini, the setter, herself has 4. Courtney Thomas has 9. 5 for Kelly Bates. 10 for Haley Nelson, who's supposed to be your lead defensive player. You have 6 for Dominique Thompson, 10 for Ellen Chapman. That's an impressive list right there. And another one coming for the Badgers. They're making it rain kills right now. And it's because of the depth they have at the net.
You just can't stop them. If you cue in on one, Badgers have a couple of more who can do it. 22-8 as Maury sends it in. Pollock to Riscitillo. Bates is right there. Carlini to Nelson. Dug out well by Hubbard Neal. Maury with the pass. Bates just long. And Western Michigan gets their 9th point of the set.
Good eye there by Western Michigan, letting that one go. Just want to run through the numbers real quick. 44 kills by the Badgers, 27 for Western Michigan. Badgers hitting 343.055 on the match for the Broncos.
Bates is blocked at the net. And then Nelson is too. Good defense by the Broncos. Bates will try again. Dug out by the libero Rose. Riscitillo right at Thomas, and she's ready for it. Haley Nelson tries to tip. Broncos get it again. But the Badgers, Scott, you pointed out earlier that they needed to improve their blocking, and I think Lauren Carlini heard you.
And the Badgers now lead total blocking 9-4 after trailing 3-1 in the first set. They've obviously turned it around. Kelly Sheffield, that's been an area of emphasis for him as well. One other stat to look at tells quite the story as well. 41 assists for the Badgers, 32 of which by Carlini, 26 for Western Michigan. So the stats obviously skewed one direction in this one.
Sydney LeMay with a good dip shot. Beats the Badger defense. And it's 23-10. Still a steep hill to climb if you're Western Michigan.
And you know, for Western Michigan, a solid season, 22-13. Had the MAC tournament title after winning 4 games in 4 days. So a lot of great things to still go off of. There's another point for Wisconsin. They produced the conference's freshman of the year for the 4th straight season. That's Sydney LeMay. Senior Pollock and LeMay both named first-team All-MAC selections. They've got a lot of talent on that team. They're going to lose a couple seniors, but a lot of talent coming back. I just want to get this in before it ends. Give them a lot of credit, especially that second set staying strong, but they really ran into a buzzsaw today with the number 4 Wisconsin Badgers.
It looked for a second like Carlini was about to exit for the final point, or what might be the final point, but she'll stay in. Kelly Bates serves it in. Riscitillo's return was too hard, and Ellen, she smacks it home. The Badgers take it.
Who else but Ellen Chapman? She'll be tied for the most kills in the game with Haley Nelson. Really incredible, 11 for each of them. It was a team performance once again by the Badgers. I listed all the players with how many kills they had. They dominated hit percentage, assists, digs, blocks. It all came together for the Badgers, especially in those first and third sets. This is a number 4 seed to watch. May play Penn State in the Elite 8. That's the one to watch, but we got a matchup right away tomorrow, Ken.
Badgers starting their tournament off runs very well, sweep their first match, and like you said, they're going to be playing right here in the UW Fieldhouse tomorrow night, 7 p.m. start time. You'll be on the call with Elise Romas right here on BTN Student U. Once again, Wisconsin Badgers take the first round match of their tournament run, 3-0 over Western Michigan. This has been women's volleyball on the Big Ten Network.